Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Nitrostorm here. Welcome back to Revive the Witch. So this will just be a quick video regarding the two different kinds of auto. So we have free mode auto and default auto, and I'm just going to be telling you as much as I know in regards to how they work, as well as how to use them, specifically how to use free auto. So first things first, we'll just quickly go through how default auto works. So we'll do a PvP fight in regards to that. So we'll be using this team as a example. So we'll just quickly go over the skills that they have. So Celadonia has a charge skill that's replacing an order skill with a 3-cost chaos skill. Tonel has a 2-cost order skill that heals, and a charge skill that took place of a chaos skill. And lastly, we have Ella, who's got a 3-cost damaging order skill with a 5-cost chaos transformation. And so what will happen here is that Ella will prioritize her damage skill and her transformation before Celadonia will use her chaos skill. That's because the AI prioritizes transformations. The AI will also prioritize damage and low-cost order skills, just so that they can increase the chaos bar as fast as possible, and same thing for charges. And lastly, the heal from the healing skills will only activate once the AI realizes that healing is required. So we'll see this in action. So the first skill they'll use is Ella's 3-cost damage skill, and then the first chaos skill that's used will be the Ella's transformation. And then by then, as you can see, only after the transformation, Celadonia will use a chaos skill. And then during Arcana Burst, obviously, in default auto, the AI will just use every skill that's available to use. So that's including the heals, the damages, and the chaos skills available at the time. But outside of Arcana Burst, you will not see Tonel's order skill heal unless required, in terms of the HP being low enough. By low enough, I mean if there's a bit of HP lost, they'll prioritize heal. So even if you're at around, let's say, 85% HP, that will still warrant a heal according to the AI. So we're just gonna do one example of it, so it'll give you like a quick idea on how full auto works, default auto. So just so you know what I mean when I say that they prioritize the low cost skills, we'll just use this comp here. We'll test it. So let's turn off auto for now. As if I turn it on now, it will spam Solania's first skill, prioritize transformation, and only then will they use Solania's chaos skill after the transformation. And for the whole fight, even if my Ella is better built, the AI will always spam the first skill of Celania because it's low cost, deals damage, and stuff like that. Alright, so that's pretty much default auto. Hopefully that gave you guys a better understanding on how it works, so you can build your team around it. So if there's anyone that transforms and you don't feel like manually doing that when you're doing your fights, default auto does the job for you, and I think it does the job pretty well. I guess its only weakness is that if you're fighting a weaker team, if you're fighting against a stronger team and your team is kind of weak, they'll prioritize healing more often. And then depending on how your composition is, maybe too much healing might ruin the pattern, or like how your team fights, ruining the order and stuff, causing your teams to probably lose. But that's just an extreme example. So that example is if like your team's too weak and then they just keep spamming Tonel heal, and then since they're not attacking, you know, stuff happens. But that's enough for full mode default auto. Now we're going to take a look at free mode auto. So this one is a bit more control. You know, you have more control over it. For this example, I'll use this comp here. So we'll just use Tonel at the front. Lacrima, and Ushpio. So in free mode auto, right, you get to choose. So before Arcana Burst takes place, you get to choose one order skill to spam and one chaos skill to spam. So in this case, I'll choose Ushpia skill and Lacrima skill. So ignore the burst for now. So free mode auto at the moment, I've chosen Ushpia's second skill and Lacrima's first skill to spam. And for the whole fight, that's the only thing that the AI is going to spam. However, once you are in Arcana Burst, the skills change, as in the skills that are being spammed changes. However, you can still manually set which skill is going to be spammed during the Arcana Burst. So the next time it comes up, I'm going to quickly press Ushpia's second skill. There you go. So now it's only going to spam its Chaos skill during the Arcana Burst. And then after Arcana Burst, it goes back to my usual settings, which is Lacrima S1 and Ushpia S1. Now, another thing to note, during Arcana Burst, you cannot set a character to use both their Order skill and their Chaos skill during Arcana Burst. It will only allow you to choose between one of them. But outside of Arcana Burst, you can set both skills to the same character. But if you take a look at the next part here, I'll try and have them choose both, but as you can see, it's never selecting both, only after the Arcana Burst has been completed. So knowing this, the free mode auto remembers the two skills that you chose before Arcana Burst, and it remembers the Chaos skill you chose to spam during Arcana Burst. In terms of order skills during Arcana Burst, it'll spam all available order skills unless told to spam the Chaos skill. So in this case, as you can see, once I've set it to Ushpia's second skill, for every subsequent Arcana Burst, for every next one, they're not going to use Ushpia's first skill during the Arcana Burst, only the second skill. As you can see here, it'll use Lacrima's and Toenail's order skill, but only spams Ushpia's second skill during Arcana Burst. This could change too. For example, let's say I just want order skills to be used, but as you can see here, if I try to use two different order skills at once outside of Arcana Burst, it doesn't work, because you can only set one order skill to spam and one Chaos skill to spam outside of Arcana Burst. So hopefully this gives you guys a better understanding on how free mode auto works. And I can also tell you guys the weakness of free mode auto. So let's go with this team, for example, right? And let's say I do this, right? You know, like this is your optimal thing. You know, you attack with Ella with the first skill, and then Celadonia attacks with the second skill there. As you can see, unless I manually set the transformation to be used, Ella will never transform. So that's why if it's a transformation character, I highly suggest putting them in default auto, as they will transform automatically for you. But right now, as you can see, I have to manually press this so that it transforms, and then switch back the settings so that it goes back into spamming the fire breath attack that Ella does. Okay, so with that in mind, hopefully this gives you guys a better understanding on how auto works, both free mode and default mode auto. So perhaps the next time you create your team composition, you will now like really know which type of auto you're going to be using this team with. And yeah, and hopefully as new characters arrive, you'll be able to be like, oh, this character seems to be really good at free mode, or maybe, oh, this new character might be better off in default mode auto, you know, stuff like that. Of course, there'll be characters that are like better off on manual. I guess a good example could be Mine, because her first skill consumes all order stacks. But of course, if you play Minnie on free mode auto, you'll just have to like manually set her skills each time, you know, if that makes any sense. But yeah, in any case, if you guys have any more questions regarding how auto works, please let me know down in the comments below. It's been your boy Nitrostorm. I'll see you guys in the next stream or video. Peace.